welcome back. So this week I'm going to talk about one of my favorite drummers. Now, often I get asked, Aubrey, who are your favorite drummers? And actually, I have a lot of favorite drummers. So today I want to focus on Dave Weckl. I ran across him many moons ago when he was famously introduced to the world in the Chick Corea Electric Group, electric band actually. And I also learned that he was part of, a group with Michelle Camilo, and that he played on a Bill Connors record. I guess he was in that group as well. But since then, he's done a gazillion projects, and he's played phenomenally on all of them. So this one fill that I heard on a record called Public Access by Steve Gadd on the song Mama Chola, last song on the recording, really captivated me. And, they're playing in this sort of halftime shuffle feel, like gas. So it has a bit of a, kind of feels like it's in 6 a little bit. But, he just pulls off this triplet-oriented fill that was murderous. Well, take a listen to it for a second, and I'll show you how it was done. Well, there you have it. Pretty amazing. Okay. By the way, doing these transcriptions and trying to play these transcriptions is really about understanding the thinking and the way it feels for another drummer to play certain things that are natural to that drummer. When you actually go ahead and play them, they feel pretty awkward at first. But once you get a handle on them, you can see how you can incorporate some of the things that are in said transcription into your playing. And just the overall sense of how it feels to play that way can make a huge difference in your playing. So it's not just about listing the thing and placing it directly into a piece of music. Sometimes that works out, but I found that often it doesn't. So it's more about assimilating it than taking it verbatim. In any case, I thought I'd mention that. Well, take a look at how I approach this a little slower, okay? So that's how it breaks down. Make sure to download the PDF so you can see it in one shot rather than on the bottom of the screen. And it'll hopefully make a little more sense when you look at it that way. Now, way back in the day, I remember hearing stories of this great drummer in New York City named Dave Weckl, who it was said he was like a Steve Gadd cop sped up. Okay. I don't know if that was fair. I'm sure it probably irritated Dave Weckl if that ever got back to him. But that was the word on the street. That's okay, because he was blazing. And the reason why I mention that is that fill, the way I figured out, once I had transcribed it, I realized that it kind of was using a kind of technique that Steve Gadd often uses. When Steve Gadd would groove, to keep the hi-hat motion going, like a 16th note feel going, he would put his left hand on the hi-hat, and he'd play a groove like this. 1, 2, 3, And this fill actually has that happening, but on a triplet grid. So I thought a good way to sort of get accustomed to that feel in the triplet is to go back and forth from duple time to ternary time. So from playing 16th notes to triplets. So that would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, So that gets you working on a couple of things. Obviously, the figure itself, and it also gives you a chance to work on that transition from duple to ternary time, which is surprisingly tricky, actually. You have to think about it. And I've been playing for quite a while, and I still have to think about it, because it's so easy to either, usually you kind of slow down too much. So you have to really clearly hear the triplets coming before you actually get there and sit right in the triplet feel. Definitely practice with the metronome when you do that. So that motion on the triplet grid in the fill itself is displaced by an eighth note triplet, thus getting that really quirky feel. So let me play the actual fill at the tempo that you heard on that clip. Oh, another note is that the groove that I play up to it and after it are not exactly what he was playing. It's just the same feel. Okay. So there you have it. A little closer look at Dave Weckl's playing. Hope you enjoyed that one, and I'll see you next week.